all desire that one person who can be a knight in shining armor, but it does not always go as planned when we find ourselves being entrapped in a one-sided relationship. Not all relationships are give and take. In some relationships, you may find yourself giving and giving without getting anything in return, and is instances where the other person keeps sucking you dry. These are relationships where someone is using you to get their needs met. It can be quite painful if that person you deeply care about just cares about their own personal needs. So, how do you know if someone is using you? In this video, I'm going to outline 14 signs you can use to determine if you are being used. The first sign that someone is using you is when all their conversations are just about them. A user is someone who mostly engages in a monologue kind of conversation. They'll talk about their life, their family, their career, their plans, and they'll never even listen to what you have to say. They will also do this while expecting you to pay attention to what they have to say. That's one of the main characteristics of a user. The second sign is a user will rarely or will never say thank you. It's like thank you is not part of their vocabulary. You might go an extra mile and do something for them constantly, but you will never hear something like thank you or I appreciate what you've done to me. You will never hear something about that because they feel so entitled at what you have to offer them. Another characteristic is a user will never reciprocate. A user is someone who will never offer you back when you offer them something. They'll keep taking and taking without giving anything in return. The fourth one is a user will always disappear in your difficult times. Have you ever been with someone who always ghosts you when you are in times of need? You might try calling them and they'll probably be offline, or they'll tell you something like they are sick, they are not feeling well, or they are busy. They always find excuses just to avoid helping you or to avoid offering you a helping hand. That's a user in your life. The fifth one is a user will always be nice when they need something from you. We can see a user is selectively nice. When they know that they're about to ask for something from you, they'll act nice, affectionate, friendlier, just so that they can get that thing they want from you and then go back to their default setting of not being nice to you, of ignoring you. Another sign is a user is zero actions and all talk. A user will constantly talk and talk about what they're going to do to you, but they'll never take action. You might find yourself meeting your end of the bargain, but they'll never meet their end of the bargain. They'll just meet their end of the bargain with an empty talk. The other sign is, yes, can you do me a favor? If you are constantly with someone who keeps asking you for favors every now and then, like it can be, the favor can be running for them an errand, the favor can be money, or just anything just to meet their personal needs, and all their calls are just favors, then probably that person is using you. Another way to determine if you are being used is if you are the last priority. A user will always make you prioritize their own needs in front of even your own. Imagine there was a loaf of bread. The user will eat half the loaf and then, or more than half the loaf, and then give half to other people, and then for you probably you'll be given the wrapping paper and some breadcrumbs. Like you are the last priority. You are nowhere near the priority list of that person. If you find yourself in that situation, then you are being used. Another way is a user will constantly lie and be dishonest with their actions. A user will lie and deceive you, especially when they want to get their needs met. They will not even care if the lie is damaging to the relationship or if it's damaging to you. They'll just lie to meet their needs. The other way is a user will always avoid the talk. A user will always avoid any talk about the relationship, any talk about any issues in the relationship, any talk about the future, and they'll find excuses to escape that talk about the relationship. If you find yourself in situations where you cannot even have that committed talk or that deep talk with someone, it means that that person is probably using you and wants to avoid those emotionally challenging topics. Another way is a user will always ignore your well-being. A user is someone who will want their needs met even if it means you sacrificing your own mental well-being. Even if you are uncomfortable with something and you've told them that you're uncomfortable with it, they will still keep pushing you so that their needs can be met. They don't care if you're sick, they don't care if you feel bad about it, as long as their selfish needs are met. The last one is a user is someone who manipulates you. A user will coerce you to do something even when you are unwilling to do it. They might say something like, especially when you say no or decline to do something, they might say something like, I thought you were my friend, I thought you loved me, so that they can really push you to the limit and cross those boundaries. Any relationship is supposed to be a mutual effort between two people, but at times you may find yourself in situations where you just keep giving and giving. If you find yourself in this situation, raise it to the party involved, and if they are willing, they can seek help. But if they are not willing to seek help, then the best way for you is to find a way out of that relationship. Because if you keep giving and giving, there is an end to what you can give. And there is no need to give to someone who's not appreciative and someone who's using you. You deserve a better life.